You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Andrea Lutz, and on this start of the week, a lot developing in the state of Montana tonight, including this. After an attempt at the United States Senate, a Montana Republican is now trying his hand at the U.S. House. We have the details ahead. Plus, a search for a missing diver continues tonight at Canyon Ferry Lake near Helena. The latest is ahead. But first, folks are cleaning up after a storm brought, can you believe it, golf ball sized hail and heavy winds to Valier and the surrounding areas over there. A massive cleanup is now underway after that hailstorm caused significant damage to crops in north central Montana. MTN's Elizabeth Transu joins us from Pend Oreille County, where folks are talking cleanup now after this storm.
Monday's average high in Valier, 74 degrees.
They can change in a second.
But as most Montanans seem to know,
very unpredictable, but nothing like this.
The weather can change any minute.
I've never ever witnessed a storm like this in Valier.
Pend Oreille, Teton, and Cascade counties were under a severe thunderstorm warning for much of Friday. Wind reports were up to 50 miles per hour, but it was the hail that did the damage.
It was golf ball size at the least.
She's got a ball pit with balls roughly like this, and I put them next to it, and they were almost the same size.
But now it's time for damage control.
After the storm, you've seen the townspeople coming out and surveying the damage, and people driving around helping each other, board up windows and doing what they can to help each other.
And time to prepare for whatever weather will come next.
And everybody's just kind of just lost, like it happened so fast and so devastating that just kind of in shock.
In Valier, Elizabeth Transu, MTN News.
Wow, certainly a lot of damage in Valier, but unfortunately not just homes and cars were damaged. We're being told that farmers saw their fields and winter wheat also destroyed. Man. Well, rescue crews are dealing with weather as a massive search is now underway at Canyon Ferry Lake for a missing diver. The call came in this afternoon when dispatchers learned 2 divers were in trouble. So emergency crews launched from the Yacht Basin Marina. One diver was having equipment trouble when the second diver went to help him. One was rescued, but another is still missing in an area as deep as 50 feet.
Anytime you have a water emergency in a lake this size, I would say that's a difficult area. They're searching the area, doing their search, and then also preparing for possibly to continue on for the next phase.
And that missing diver has still not been found tonight. The teams pulled their boats off the water around 8:30 this evening. Of course, they say it was just too dark to work. Flathead County courts are working to determine how to move forward after a recent murder trial has ended in a mistrial. Ryan Lamb was charged with deliberate homicide in the death of his partner. Lamb admitted to stabbing him with scissors during sex, but he claims it was self-defense. After 2 days of deliberating last week, the jury was in a deadlock, and the court will reconvene on July 11th to decide how to proceed. After 2 months in Nevada, a suspect in a Billings murder case is back in Montana to face a judge this week. 54-year-old Gregory Green was brought back to Montana from Nevada on Sunday. He faces charges of deliberate homicide. This case stemming from a September incident when prosecutors linked Green to the disappearance of his girlfriend, Laura Johnson. Detectives continue to search for a burial site right now, and it is an active search. Green is set to appear in court on Tuesday. It's been only 3 days since Montana's sole seat in Congress became vacant for 2020, and a prominent Republican is now jumping into that race. And he's not new to trying to get elected on a national scale. Of course, State Auditor Matt Rosendale announced this morning he is running for the House seat, his 3rd race in just 4 years. Rosendale says he'll emphasize his record as insurance commissioner and open more lands to public access.
I think that the more people that dig into me, they see that the reason that we came to Montana nearly 20 years ago was because we appreciate the wholesome things that it has to offer, family and community and that way of life. And because I want to preserve those for the next generations to come, I want to serve and work for the people of Montana.
Two Democrats are now also in that race for 2020 for the House, and a third Republican, we're told, is expected to join the race just a little bit later this week. We'll let you know when that happens. New information tonight surrounding a new measure that could give local counties the authority to choose and make local elections nonpartisan. Tonight, we're learning Gallatin County just might be doing that. This year, the state legislature gave counties the option to pass an ordinance to give voters the chance to make their elections have no party affiliations. Well, tomorrow, Gallatin County commissioners are going to decide whether to put this issue on their November ballot.
It makes sense in a lot of ways to be nonpartisan. There's no reason that a treasurer or a clerk and recorder or even the sheriff, there's really no reason whether they're a Democrat or Republican. They do pretty specific jobs.
So if those elections were to move to a nonpartisan way, well, candidates could still run as a Democrat or Republican. It just won't be listed on the ballot. New information tonight as crews say that they are on track to complete construction of the Sperry Chalet in Glacier National Park, doing so by October. The second phase begins July 1st. It includes masonry work, finishing the roof and completing the interior. Crews, they hike in while other crews deliver the supplies, all by helicopter.
So we've made improvements to the building so that it's structurally going to be more sound, it'll be in better shape for the next 100 years, but we haven't changed it so much as to change the visitor experience.
Now, the Sperry Chalet burned down in the summer of 2017. You probably remember that. Of course, that's when the Sprague fire overtook the structure. Sadly, firefighters were not able to save it. Well, tonight, we're learning some new details on how Gallatin County search and rescue crews helped rescue a climber who fell 20 feet over the weekend. So we're told it took just 1 hour between the time officials got the call and when the man received medical help. The rescue was quick. That's because they say volunteers heavily trained, saving a lot of people in those technical areas. And a lot of those technical climber volunteers were told, well, they also kind of live in the area of Gallatin County.
So it's a continuous cycle of training. Those people are training all the time. It never stops here. It's an outdoor recreation-oriented community. The community values that a lot.
Search and rescue trains in high visited outdoor recreation spots in Gallatin County. The rescued climber is expected to recover. Some good news there. Well, big renovations are in the works for Missoula's fairgrounds, as well as a way to make Missoula a little bit more pedestrian friendly. The fairgrounds will create a trail system to help get people around the heavily trafficked area on Brook Street. Along with the trail system, officials with the fairground hope to add a new ice rink, rodeo grounds, and livestock buildings, all of that coming soon. And as cardboard continues to pile high, well, we're learning tonight a Billings-based recycler is dealing with that problem. This after China banned imported scrap materials just last year. MTN's Zoe Zandora takes us there.
With them not buying, it's backed up the domestic mills' crash prices. And for some people, it's cheaper to throw it in a landfill than it is to ship it to a recycling facility.
Curbside recycling, both residentially and commercially in Billings. Earth First Aid Curbside picks up your recycling, brings it back to the shop, bales the items, then ships them out. Owner of Earth First Aid Curbside Recycling, Scott Barron, says the ban from China made for a long 2018, and it's been an even longer 2019.
We currently have no processing facilities in the state of Montana that will process any of this material into a reusable product.
Though mills are backed up and prices are down, First Aid is still able to move all of their material with the exception of cardboard, which fell to $0 a ton this month as compared to $5 a ton last month.
All of this cardboard just sitting here at Earth First Aid with nowhere to ship. Now mills are cutting back on allocations as they're running at 180% capacity, and they are picky and limited on what they can take in, causing backups for some where it's just sitting here like it is at Earth First Aid, or it's getting sent straight to the landfill.
Historically, Earth First Aid has sold cardboard at an upwards of $120 a ton. Then it dropped to $80, then $20. Now it's at $0.
It's just been progressively getting worse to the point where we can't sell it. People are sending it to the landfills. China is currently buying cardboard from other countries at $500 a ton. So it's not fun for them, it's not fun for us.
What will it take to start moving the cardboard again? Well, more investments in infrastructure. Barron says we need more U.S. mills to process the inventory domestically and bring the manufacturing and jobs back to the U.S.
So what they've done is they're sending people from China into the United States. They're purchasing shuttered U.S. paper mills. They're retooling them into cardboard facilities to eventually ship the cardboard back to themselves, which is fine, doesn't matter. As long as they're purchasing and moving it, that's what we want to see. We want to see the product move again at a reasonable price.
In Billings, Zoe Zandora, MTN News.
Okay, and even with all of this, those in the business say that recycling, well, it's still major conservation and business benefits that go into it, including creating jobs and a fair market price when it comes to cardboard. Interesting seeing it so high. All right, well, still to come on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news, the doors of Malmstrom Air Force Base will open to the public for the first time in years. We're getting an exclusive look, too, at this, fighting invasive species on the lake. But first, Bob, how's the weather looking?
We'll be talking about some scattered rain showers about the rest of this week, but then after that, it's going to get cold. We'll have more about that coming your way in a few more minutes.